So what we learned when we were talking with our boon tree experts here was that they'd hoped to use their crane to make it a little bit easier for them to get these taller trees down. But unfortunately, the crane became damaged this past week. Going into a driveway that had a lot of heavy trees in it. And so one of the sensors actually was damaged on it. And so it's in the shop. And so what we learned then was that they were going to use ropes and climb the trees, basically go old school with this, which actually makes it great for us to watch, harder for the guys because the crane would make life a little bit easier for them. But so you'll see here that our first climber is going to go up. In fact, while this is going on, the ash in the back was also getting taken down, and we didn't get any video of that because it went down in about 10-15 minutes. And so what you're going to see here is this tree will go down pretty quickly, and then the other two trees, remember there's 4 trees total, there's going to be a lot more time spent on those because of the branches and making sure they fall just the right way. But there's going to be some great stuff going on here as you see him just scamper up this tree like it's no problem and cut some branches on his way up in order to get them out of the way so he can continue to belay himself up with his sling. So enjoy.
Que le lleva gleitores al marrano, güey. ¿Eh? Que le lleva gleitores al marrano. ¿O sí? Throw them on the front. Ya. O no, ya ponlo por un lado mejor para que esos sean muy chips limpios para que los llevemos a la caca. Ponle, échale grasa, flaco. Engrasa el chipper y empieza Esta ya no se apaga, güey. ¿No? Una vez que la arrancan ya no se apaga. Luego la compongo. Martín. Let's go. Let's not worry about the clutch. Le pones tu lazo, ahí lo ha puesto, amárrate ahí a la horquetita. ¿Y ahí te lo llevas? Yay. ¿A dónde? ¿A la línea? No, a la línea no, vieja. Nomás preocúpate por el fence.
So you can hear in the background here the ash is getting cut down in the backyard, and this tree went down real easy that you're seeing in front of you. The other two in front will be a little more complicated. In fact, while one of these other trees that's adjacent to this one is getting taken down, you're going to see a lot of good trimming done on the tree that is right over the front deck. A lot of branches are kind of hanging over the house and over the deck, and that's some tricky roping they've got to do because you'll see when those branches are getting cut, they've got to make sure it doesn't fall down on the deck or on top of the house. But at first I thought, boy, they're going to be here for about an hour and get all these trees down the way this first tree went down, plus the ash in the back. But things do get more complicated after this one, which is it's really great. You're going to get a chance to see how these guys work together. Ground crew picking up and cutting some of the bigger branches going down, feed them into the chipper, and then eventually you'll see a kind of a backhoe sort of thing show up that's going to pick up the branches, the big logs, and load them into a truck. So this will become a pretty well-oiled operation you're going to see very shortly here. This first tree just makes it look real easy, but then things do get a little more complicated as we go. And just like that, like I said, that first tree down pretty easy, and right around this same time, the ash is already down in the backyard. And you'll see them start bringing that around pretty shortly here. And the chipper is going to get its first taste of a lot of branches and leaves. This chipper, you'll see this truck eventually that you can see the chippers blowing into. By the time they're done, it will be full. In fact, we were talking with the owner of the company. He was saying that this chipper will take some pretty big logs, and they've actually got a bigger chipper than this. What he likes to do, and it was interesting talking with him and what they do with these logs, he chooses not to sell any of the logs. He donates all the firewood that they generate from these big old oaks and kind of good fire type logs. He'll donate them to local churches or to the Hunger Coalition, unless it's pine, because no one wants to burn pine. And if it's pine, they'll just chip it up because that's about the best thing for it. So if this size tree here, were not an oak, if it were a pine tree instead, they've actually got a chipper big enough that could handle that size of the tree. But because this is good firewood, this oak, they can chop it up and donate it. But in our case, our neighbor has a fireplace. We don't, but our neighbor does. And so you'll see later on that they're actually going to load these logs up and just drive them right down the street and drop them off for our neighbor Wink, which, good day for him. He gets some almost free firewood out of this deal. And it was helpful for these guys, a win-win, because they didn't have to drive and drop it off anywhere. They could just drop it right next door. And a win-win for us too, because it saved time, because they didn't have to leave and come back with the truck. So they're cleaning up here a bit, just getting some of these kind of stray branches out of the way. And in fact, one thing I'll mention is that these guys did an incredibly good job at cleaning everything up, and avoided damaging really everything. There was some little kind of hosta type plants that were unavoidable. Most of our hostas got eaten by the deer, so it didn't matter. But these guys did a tremendous job. Nothing was damaged on the house, even though there was some tricky rope work, like I said. But we'll finish this tree off here, and then in the next video we'll kind of get into some of the trickier business that these guys got to get into, which is one of these other trees that's right next to this one, plus the branches in this tree that's just coming into view. They're going to start taking some of those down and avoiding the deck in that process. So a lot more to come.